I stop. Okay, there we go. Hi, everyone. You all, I think, know who I am. I'm JoLynn Mason. I am the campaign manager for the UW Combined Fund Drive. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so thrilled to see so many of you here. This is my second campaign virtually. And while I am bummed that I don't get to see you all in 3 dimensions, I'm excited that we're back on campus and I've seen some of you in real life. It's been really heartening to see you. And for those I haven't seen in person, just know that I'm looking forward to that chance at some point in the next few months. Last year, you might remember we talked a lot about the campaign with the idea of it being an airplane, that we were building it while we were flying it. And I want to thank Dean for that. That was such a great example and it felt so of the moment. And there's still a little bit of that going on this year. You know, last year we were fully remote, and so we had to completely shift to being remote. And this year, it actually is more of a hybrid campaign. So we're back on campus, and we're in person, and we're also remote, and we have all these great tools, and we're excited and a little nervous, but mostly excited about settling into the new normal at all the UW campuses and really kind of making this campaign something new and hopefully more reflective of the modern workplace. In talking to our nonprofits, that's something that we get to do every year. We've heard from so many folks locally, nationally, and internationally that the needs that they continue to see and the services they provide, the requests are just going up. There has not been a slack period for our nonprofit community. And if you watch the news, it feels like it's disaster after disaster after disaster. And programs like the UWCFD and the work that you'll do this fall as coordinators really help address some of that and help provide respite for our nonprofit community. And when you share the message with your colleagues and coworkers about how we can give and how we can support issues that we care about and that matter to us, you really help make not just your immediate community, but your broader community a better place. So thank you in advance for all the work that you are about to do. I am extra thrilled to announce this year's featured nonprofit. It is Low Income Housing Institute and their Tiny House Village program. So Low Income Housing Institute, or LIHI, as I'm going to call it, because I'm not just going to keep saying that over and over again, is one of the largest providers of tiny house village shelters in the nation. And tiny houses are really there to ensure that people's experience in homelessness is as safe, dignified, and brief, which I think is so important, brief as possible. Tiny houses are safe, they're sturdy, they provide shelter for homeless individuals and families. They have lockable doors, insulation, windows, overhead light, heat, ventilation. We had a chance to visit the tiny house village next door, Rosie's Village, that's going in on 45th and Roosevelt, and it's pretty amazing. The villages are staffed by special project managers and case managers who really work with the folks who are there to get them to their next step in life, really trying to move them to where they need to be next. So the villages are there to provide stability and assistance to the residents, just getting them back on their feet and on with their lives, which is so amazing. And when we had a chance to visit the Tiny House Village, we got to meet this morning's speaker, Josh Castle, who I think, I hope you guys all love him. I was just so impressed by the work he's doing and the work that LIHI is doing. But aside from just like the impressive work, I want to tell you a little bit more about him. Josh has been serving as the Advocacy and Community Engagement Director with LIHI for the last 2.5 years, but he's been there for 5. He's born and raised in Seattle, and he is a UW grad. Woo, go UW. Yeah, that's right, everybody. And he lives in Greenwood currently with, I love this, his sassy cat, Boo. I also have a sassy cat, and her name is Greta. He enjoys jogging at Green Lake, hiking, camping, traveling, watching the Huskies, being partner to an amazing guy, and this is one of my favorite details, uncle to 13 wonderful nieces and nephews. I thought I had a lot of nieces and nephews, but I'm apparently lacking in that department. At LIHI, he works with communities, schools, faith groups, village residents, businesses, governments, volunteers, donors, and the media to engage regarding, educate and engage regarding LIHI programs, including affordable housing, tiny house centers, tiny house villages, other enhanced shelters, and urban rest stops and hygiene center, urban rest stop hygiene centers. And if that's not enough, he also organizes local and state advocacy efforts to advance housing justice for people experiencing homelessness. Anne is right, that is a lot of birthdays to remember. Also, wow, Josh, thank you for joining us, and we're so excited to have you here. Welcome. Yeah, everybody give
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Just had to struggle to unmute myself. Good morning. Thanks for having me today, and thanks for giving us the opportunity to present. I'm going to pull up a presentation in a moment. So thanks for providing that history, Jolene, and it was great to meet you guys out at the site. So I have a picture of that I want to show on my presentation as well. So just give me one moment to pull that together and share my screen. Let's see. Okay. All right. I'm going to get my technology here together. Let me know if you can see my screen. And I'm going to do a slideshow.
Yes, we can see your screen. And Anne, is your view of Josh better now?
Give me 1 second. Let me do a slideshow.
Sorry, no, he's not popping up. There we go. I got him. Thanks.
Guys, give me 1 second, okay? I got to figure out how to open this thing up.
If you go back to your presentation tab, the presentation for UWCFD, and then go to the right, and there's a present button next to the yellow share.
Gotcha.
All the way to the right, like the right hand of the screen.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, you know what? That's where it is. Okay.
The one next to it, present.
Oh, sorry. Present.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. Now we got it. All right. Now we're going. All right. So, all right. Let me go to my, can you guys see everything? Oh, good. Great. Thanks. Okay. So, hi, I'm Josh Castle. I'm with the Low Income Housing Institute. I'm the Advocacy and Community Engagement Director. I'm with the organization. As Jolene stated, I have been with LIHI for about 5 years now, and about half that time I've been the Advocacy and Community Engagement Director. Before that, I was organizing volunteers and volunteer programs. So I was the volunteer programs manager, and then I started engaging with on a lot of advocacy efforts and working with communities and neighbors and schools and businesses and others on our village program. So then it made sense for me to jump over into this role because I was doing a lot of this. So we now have this amazing volunteer programs manager who I'd like to introduce you guys to at some point soon, by the name of Allah Hassan. So she took over my previous role. And yeah, I am a UW. I graduated from UW with a social sciences degree. I am born and raised in Seattle, actually walking distance from the UW campus in the Ravenna area, and my parents are still there in the house that I grew up in. So let me tell you a little bit about LIHI. So LIHI is an affordable housing provider. We provide 2,400 units of housing.
School pharmacy. How may I help you?
We provide 2,400 units of housing in, sorry, 1 second here, in 6 counties throughout the region, and then mostly in King County and Seattle. We also have 2 urban rest stop hygiene centers, and in Seattle providing free hygiene resources, laundry, showers, and bathrooms for people experiencing homelessness. And we have 14 tiny house villages in Seattle, unincorporated King County and Skyway, Tacoma and Olympia, providing shelter and case management to people, couples, and families experiencing homelessness. That's a picture of our Lake Union Village site. Okay. So this one here is a picture of one of our affordable housing buildings that we just opened. I think it was last March, if I'm not mistaken, the Clay Apartments on Capitol Hill. And this one is really exciting. We actually moved in a lot of homeless veterans into this site. And it's one of several buildings that we've opened recently, and we're in the process of developing several more. So right now, the way things are looking is we're in the process of opening about 3,000 units of affordable housing all over the Puget Sound region, and that'll be about 75 buildings, around 75 buildings of permanent affordable housing and some transitional housing. Here's a couple of the pictures of our villages and our sites. We have a couple of volunteers out to so the volunteers are crucial to the program, setting up our villages. This is kind of one look at one of the tiny houses inside. They're about the size of a small bedroom. And here's some of our volunteers, our volunteer groups that came out to build our tiny houses. So I'll just show you a couple of pictures and then tell you about the program a little bit. So each tiny house, they're 8 by 12, they're insulated. They have heat, electricity, and a locking door. They include hygiene and kitchen facilities, community spaces, and offices for on-site staff. They serve populations that a lot of basic mat on the floor shelters do not serve, such as families, couples, and people with pets. The tiny houses, they're built by neighbors, by schools, volunteers, faith organizations, pre-apprenticeship programs. They each have like furnishings, and a lot of this is donated furnishings from schools and churches and Rotary clubs. They come together to make these curtains and basically set up and decorate the rooms. So these include a mattress, bedding, storage. They each have a safe heater and a welcome kit with other essential items. And then inside each tiny house, they have a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector. And there's fire extinguishers distributed throughout the sites. We take fire safety very seriously. Now, the advantage I should say about the tiny houses, one of the big advantages is that they are COVID safe, so you don't have to share air or space with others. Unlike a congregate shelter where everybody's kind of in the same room, or they're kind of in the same building. This one, because there's outside air outside the tiny house, and inside the tiny house, you have your own four-wall space. It allows that protection from exposure to COVID. The cost, I just updated the slide this morning because luckily the materials cost for building a tiny house keeps going down. The cost of lumber went up quite a bit in the last several months, and it used to be $2,500 to build a tiny house, and now it's gone down. It went up to like 5,000, and now it's gone down. So hopefully it keeps going down. And then the furnishings cost about $500 roughly to set up, and a village costs about $600,000 to build. And give me 1 second here. Okay. All right. So when it comes to village management and operations, so we have 24/7 staff in all the villages. This includes a special projects manager that manages the site, a case manager providing services and support to residents. They are crucial to the program. And we have village organizers that provide security and operational support. Residents are, in order to participate in the program, they are required to agree to and abide by a code of conduct. And that includes things like working with a case manager on a plan for getting into housing, and chores and things of that nature. We also employ grievance procedures to address resident concerns if those ever come up. And here's some of our amazing staff in the picture to our right at True Hope Village. So supportive services and case management is crucial to the program. It's what makes it work. So we have full-time managers working on site. They help residents. They work with each resident as an individual to figure out like what their needs are when they come to the village. So a lot of people that are transitioning into a tiny house village from homelessness are coming from chronic homelessness. It's sort of a range between that and people that just need to step up. They became temporarily homeless. So basically it's people that come in with a variety of needs, and they help residents with, really like recovering from, in a lot of cases, it's recovering from trauma. They've been outside. They've been, basically at risk of violence, exposure to the cold, and, exposure to theft, their items being stolen. And so a lot of times people are just coming from a place where they just need a place to recover and take a breath and just be in a place where they feel safe and secure. And then the next step is they work with case managers on, anything that they may need, and that includes obtaining housing, that includes, gaining employment, accessing healthcare, accessing childcare. There's also treatment, getting an ID and documentation, seeking an education, and just a whole variety of other needs. So one thing that a lot of times when people are entering into a village, the big challenge is that they don't have an ID or documentation to prove who they are because it was lost in a police sweep, or they somehow lost it along the way. And it's really difficult and cumbersome to get an ID or get documentation if you don't have it to begin with. So they help. We have very talented case managers to help residents with that process. So that's one example of ways that can be really helpful. So like I said, residents are required to work with case managers as outlined in the Code of Conduct. And the entire point of the program is it serves as a stepping stone from homelessness to permanent housing. And case managers are the crucial element to that. And hang on one second. I'm trying to open it up so I can see you guys. And my screen went nutty. Okay. So basically on our tiny house village outcomes, so when it comes to transitioning people into permanent housing, we've transitioned 840 people into permanent housing since the program began, and 180 people into transitional housing since 2015. In 2020 last year, when we looked at all of our data, 53.4% of residents who transition out of villages transition into homes, and 47, over 47% of that was permanent housing, and 6% into transitional housing. Tiny house villages, they have significantly higher exit rates to long-term housing than other shelter programs. So other forms of enhanced shelter have about 23%, and then basic shelter is around 3% of those who transition into permanent housing. So it has a higher success rate. So since 2015, we've provided shelter for about 2,800 people in our tiny houses and enhanced shelters. And we currently provide 584 shelter beds in tiny houses in Seattle and King County. Here's just a couple pictures of our villages. So this is True Hope Village at 18th and Yesler. And this is sponsored by two churches, True Vine of Holiness Missionary Baptist Church and New Hope Missionary Baptist Church. So we combine the titles together to make True Hope. This is Lake Union Village at 8th and Aloha, right in the heart of South Lake Union. TC Spirit Village, which is sponsored by the Christ Spirit Church on 22nd and Cherry. And then, in the city of Tacoma and on the Puyallup Tribe Reservation, which is massive, and this happens to land in the Tacoma city limits. This is a picture of that site. This is 30 tiny houses that provide housing for 40 members of the Puyallup tribe who are experiencing homelessness. And this has the same, just like with all of our villages, they provide restroom, showers, and laundry in these really high quality, well-built hygiene facilities. They also have a community kitchen and space for community meetings and eating. All spaces are ADA accessible. And then we have offices for 24/7 staff and an 8-foot perimeter fence surrounding the village. Now I'm going to tell you about Rosie's, which I'm sure you guys are very curious about. So this village is located at very centrally at 45th and Roosevelt. This is on Sound Transit property. We've entered into a partnership with Sound Transit and the city of Seattle on who are funding the program. And this one this is a site map of the kind of the layout of the site, but I'm going to show you some pictures in a little bit of the actual site. So this one has 36 tiny houses. We are moving a few more tiny houses in, and then we're going to be pretty close to a completed site. And then I think today or tomorrow we're moving in the community kitchen. So that one is coming in as well. And then we will be getting close to 100% completed. So this will serve up to 50 people, and that includes individuals, couples, and people with pets. And again, this one has hygiene facilities with restrooms, showers, and laundry, a community kitchen and spaces for meeting, dining, and community gatherings. All the community spaces will be ADA accessible. And then we have offices for 24/7 operational staff and case management, and a 6-foot fence surrounding the village. So you guys all came, several of you came and visited our village recently. So I should have been wearing my t-shirt, actually. I saw you guys, several of you guys wearing those. So I have that, so I'm really grateful to get that, especially as somebody who graduated from the UW. And so yeah, that was really nice of you guys to do that. So you guys came out and visited and checked out the site. And here's all of our smiling faces. Here's a couple other pictures that you guys want to show you guys. So this one is on the left is Maureen Ewing from the University Heights Center, who some of you may know. And she is a big part of supporting, the village and her and her group, and they're part of the U District partnership. So this is the business improvement district that basically all the businesses came together to support this village and have been advocating for it. So really grateful to get that support. Councilmember Alex Peterson, who represents the U District and in the UW District 4 on the City Council, has been a huge champion of the site and has been basically advocating for it, checking in with us all the time. I work really closely with him and his staff. He's been a very engaged council member, so you guys are lucky to have him. And then also in the picture is our executive director, Sharon Lee, our very energetic executive director, has been doing this for 30 years. She's the founding executive director of our organization. And Representative and Speaker Emeritus Frank Chop, who has been a big champion of the tiny house program and has really helped with funding a lot of affordable housing and a lot of enhanced shelters in his work in the state legislature. On the right is a picture of a tiny house that was delivered to Rosie's. So these houses can be picked up and delivered on a flatbed truck. They're portable, they're built to last, and they can be reused and moved around as needed when villages transition out or new villages open. So my coworker, Paul, who works on site and does a lot of volunteer work parties, he sent me this picture, so he gets the credit for it. And he took a picture. We had a group, a collegiate association, a UW student collegiate association came out and visited and volunteered last Saturday at Rosie's. So this is a picture of the group, and we were really happy to work with them. They built a lot of furniture and painted a bunch of tiny houses. So we were really, it was just great. He told me it was a great day, and I just wanted to show this picture. I thought it was really cool. Here's another picture of our volunteers working on site, and there's Safeco Tower in the background. So I had to show off that one. So we take community outreach and engagement very seriously in our villages. So part of this is like speaking with the UW and working with the UW, but we also work with all the businesses and faith communities and nearby residential neighbors. There's the Mazda to the north of us, and all the stores across the street. So we went around and basically flyered the neighborhood, told them about our community meeting that we had a little while ago about the village, And by the way, if anyone wants to see that, we have that. That's a recording that I can send along. It was a Zoom meeting. So we're committed to being good neighbors. We want to be an asset to the communities that we're a part of. And when it comes to, we have community meetings to present the plan for the site and answer questions. We also have a community advisory committee that exists for all the villages. These are made up of local community members and neighborhood stakeholders. So that's that's schools, Rotary clubs, businesses, neighbors, people that participate in a nonprofit or go to a church in the neighborhood. So they're all part of these community advisory committees, and they basically provide ongoing community engagement in the neighborhoods that they're in. So we have the community meeting before it opens, and then we have these CAC bodies of champions who are all they provide oversight, but they also provide a lot of support. If there's a concern in the neighborhood they want to bring up, this is an opportunity to do that. If they want to donate items, if they want to volunteer, this is a great way to get involved and participate in that way in the village's success. We're forming a community advisory committee, of course, for Rosie's. And if anyone is interested in participating in that or applying for that, let me know. I'm the person to send that to, contact about that. So we're going to be probably setting that up within the next couple of weeks. So I'll send out more information when that comes around. And these are, by the way, these are public meetings, and everybody is welcome to join us and participate in a civil and respectful manner, of course. So LIHI staff will promptly respond to any questions or concerns or ideas, or if people want to offer support or donations or volunteerism. There's a number to call 24/7 for that, and they can actually visit the village anytime to check in with staff and residents. Here's a couple of our key email addresses. So we've got, if you want to volunteer for the site, you can email tinyhouses@lihi.org. You can also donate meals or items by contacting my colleague, Ala Hassan. And if you wish to financially donate, Aaron Long, who's with us today, you can contact him, or you can go right to the website. Here's some of our great pictures of our volunteers and staff and our AmeriCorps. We have a lot of AmeriCorps members who join us who serve with us for a full year. And we've been working with the AmeriCorps program now for at least 5 years. I think it's been longer than that. And they come out and they organize volunteers, organize donations, and basically organize big tiny house work parties. So they're crucial to the success of the program. And that's in the upper right hand corner shows a couple of those AmeriCorps members that we've been working with. And then several of our staff are in the lower left hand corner. Bradford Gerber on the right in that picture is our construction manager, and he basically works with a group of staff to set up all the villages. And then before I open up that, I just want to mention, I'm gonna quit sharing my screen. And so let me just tell you that so we have the current villages. We also have we're also in the process of developing several tiny house villages. So yesterday I just drove up to Bellingham because we're opening a village there to serve the unsheltered neighbors in the city of Bellingham. We have a great partnership with Whatcom County and the city of Bellingham. We had the mayor of Bellingham out, and like city council members, county council members. We're opening, of course, Rosie's in a few weeks. And then right after that, we're going to be expanding Inner Bay Village, which is along 15th Avenue, close to the Magnolia Bridge. We're going to add another 30 tiny houses to that site. And then we're opening Friendship Heights Village, which is closer to I'm in the Greenwood area. And just north of me is where we're going to open that village at 125th in Aurora. And then we are also, we're partnering to set up a village in the Rainier Beach area. And we're doing a lot of advocacy for other potential villages. There's a lot of cities who have reached out to us, like Kent and Tukwila in King County, who are interested in setting up a village to serve the unsheltered neighbors in their community. So we're doing a lot of advocacy right now and a lot of testimony to support them in that effort. And I'll just say that the entire point of the program, so LIHI is is very actively building more enhanced shelters, including hotels that are being converted into enhanced shelter, along with tiny house villages. And we're setting up a lot of permanent affordable housing. Right now, we're in the process of developing 500 permanent supportive housing units throughout the region. And so, so basically we're trying to help with the continuum. There's the urban rest stop hygiene centers that help people who are experiencing homelessness, who are trying to, a lot of times they're trying to just sustain their employment. They're trying to continue to be able to go to work. They're having having a hard time getting housing or shelter at the moment. And then basically they're trying to get the income support, get to the point where they can get into housing. And then we have the tiny house village program, which helps people, coming from homelessness get into permanent housing. And then we're setting up the permanent housing that we're moving a lot of tiny house residents into. So right now we're, I think you can set up, like, permanent housing takes a while. It takes 3-4 years to set up a building. So we're trying to basically set up as many of those as possible while we have these interim solutions to help get people out of the cold, away from exposure to violence, away from exposure to the coronavirus, and then on a path to permanent housing. So it's just the whole continuum. We're trying to help, our unsheltered neighbors all over the region, all over King County and throughout the Puget Sound region. And and your group are going to be critical to this. So raising these funds to help this program out, and then coming and volunteering and really just being involved and engaged with us is a big part of supporting this program's success. So I just want to thank all of you for giving us this time and raising these funds for this program, and just being involved and engaged. And now there's always so much to share, and I feel like I'm always wondering if I left out something important, but that sometimes comes up in the questions. So I want to open it up to.
Actually, I'm sorry, Josh. I am happy to share questions with you afterwards, but I do want to kind of keep us on track time-wise. I don't want to be the nitpicky timekeeper, but I'm going to be the nitpicky timekeeper.
That's okay.
We'll aggregate the questions that are in the chat. We'll share them out with you, and then we'll share them out with everyone, the answers with everyone, if that's okay. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Well, so I thank you so much for sharing the work that LIHI is doing and that the tiny house villages are doing, just everything that's happening. I know during the pandemic, I have spent a lot of time in my home with my family, and it's a smaller house, and I have been desperate for like a room of one's own. And so I can only imagine for folks who are homeless or experiencing homelessness, how powerful it is to have a place that they can call their own. So we just appreciate so much your efforts in making sure that there are places like that in our community. Next up, we have the ever fabulous Mindy Kornberg. She is the UW's Vice President of Human Resources, and for the last 15 years, she has led the charge for this campaign. She's been our executive sponsor. She's been our hero. She's been our advocate, and we're so grateful for her continued leadership and commitment to this campaign. Welcome, Mindy.
Thanks, Jolynn, and thank you, Josh, for a great presentation. I've been watching the little tiny houses kind of come up, and hopefully I'll get a tour of them. Jolynn says I can, so they're really neat, and you guys are doing fabulous work, so thank you. We don't have to look far to see the impact of homelessness is having in our community. Our unhoused population grows every day. Thanks to programs like LIHI, Tiny Villages, there's a safe space for our neighbors in need. Nonprofits, as Jolynn said at the beginning, nonprofits continue to struggle to provide services as the need increases, and unfortunately, the funds decrease. But with the UW Combined Fund Drive, we can help, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. And I think that's why Jolynn is so passionate about it. The nonprofits in our campaign, like LIHI, are working to create a safer and healthier world. When you invite your colleagues to give to the UWCFD, you invite them to make the world and the region and the community a better place. Giving through the UWCFD creates nonprofits which in turn create healthy communities. And that's really what we're all about. Campaign coordinators, thank you for all of your work you're about to do. In 2020, it was a year like no other. In 2021, I must say, is presenting a new series of challenges that we didn't anticipate as the university returns to a somewhat in-person hybrid model. I appreciate your stepping in and taking on one more task to your what I know is an already full plate. Your role as a coordinator is critical to helping the thousands of nonprofits that are counting on the UWCFD to make a difference. Your dedication and your enthusiasm drive the campaign, in turn, making our community a better place. To returning coordinators, and you've heard me say this before, welcome back. And your leadership and your departments and units make a positive impact on so many. Every year, I'm so impressed by your creativity and energy, and the things that I hear that you're doing to raise more dollars for our incredible nonprofits. If you're a new coordinator, well, welcome. The UWCFD, indeed, Philip, the UWCFD provides a great way to connect your workplace to the broader world. I hope you'll find your important role rewarding and fun. And it needs to be fun, and I think it will be. Jolene and Nicole will definitely help you with that. I also hope to welcome back next year I hope to welcome back next year's returning coordinators. This year's campaign is a great way to reconnect with your colleagues in person or over Zoom. We all want the world to be a better place, and the work you're doing in this campaign is helping us do so. We can all see the needs the world has, and as a campaign coordinator, you're able to help find ways to address these needs. There's so many opportunities to connect with your coworkers to the organizations they love. Invite a speaker to a meeting, come to a lunch and learn, and bring a friend or two, but make sure wear a mask. Check out the great nonprofits in the expo, sharing the profits, sharing the passions this year's drive. So in conclusion, thank you so much for all of your hard work. Let's make the world a better place. And with your help, I know we will. Again, thank you and welcome to this year's campaign.
Thank you, Mindy. Thank you, Josh. Your efforts are so appreciated, as are your words. I'm going to put you on gallery again. All right. Everybody, this is it. We are kicking off our campaign, and I am so excited. I literally was dancing around my house this morning, singing a song about how I'm kicking off our campaign. Like, I, as a child, was really into musicals, and so as an adult, I'm deeply and profoundly disappointed that there's not a lot more singing and dancing in my life, and so I just make that happen. But yay, campaign. So thank you for coming. For those of you who are our coordinators, thank you for being here. We are so excited to work with you on this year's campaign. Starts today, goes through December 3rd. We will have opportunities to visit the tiny house villages. We will have opportunities to do drives. Maybe as the university, we can donate a couple of houses. I think that would be really a lovely gesture as a neighbor, and a great way to be a good neighbor. Things that we've got coming up are Nonprofit Expo this year. Oh my gosh, you guys, Nicole has been working so hard and doing such an amazing job. We have more than 120 nonprofits joining us for our virtual kickoff. With our virtual event, more than we've ever been able to have, and that number keeps climbing. Very excited about that. You can join us. We'll send you a link for that. Lunch and Learns, our first one is tomorrow. Come on to Zoom and learn more about adult and family homelessness. I know that some folks from LIHI will be there, and I think Mary's Place, but we have a great slate of digital lunch and learns scheduled throughout the campaign. maybe you can have a lunch date with a colleague and just learn more about what's happening in the world and some of the amazing solutions. Like, that's the most incredible thing about the campaign, is you get to encounter amazing solutions to really difficult problems that sometimes seem intractable, but there are people out there who are making a huge difference. As most of you know, the CFD, mostly me and Nicole, run almost entirely on caffeine and chocolate, just a little chocolate. And so Philip also runs on chocolate, I know. The coffee card promotion is back. So the first week to give, anyone who makes a new gift of $5 or more increases their giving by increases an existing gift by $5 or more, or logs 1 hour of volunteer time in the volunteer system, will receive a $5 Starbucks gift card courtesy of Washington State Employees Credit Union. Yeah, yay for Washington State Employees Credit Union. I think this is their 5th year sponsoring, and I would give anyway, but coffee and doing good, it's totally win-win-win, because the last win is the extra energy. Coordinator connections, you guys, there's going to be a great opportunity for you to meet and connect in person on October 28th. The campaign assistants are busy planning that, and I hope that you will save the date and enjoy it. And last, but certainly not least, this actually isn't last, but this is the last of my announcements. People who have been campaign coordinators before know about T-shirt Thursdays and Fridays. People who have not don't, but this is so awesome. So if you wear your awesome T-shirt, right, like your awesome T-shirt on Thursday or Friday, because I know some people like to go purple or blue on Friday, I will send you a survey on Monday. You just click, yes, Jolyn, I wore my T-shirt. And you're entered into a drawing to win a wonderful overnight at the Willows Lodge. It's called the Sleep, Sip, and Savor. I know, right? I was very upset that I was not eligible for this prize, because it's an awesome prize. Spend the night at Willows in an upgraded guest room, dinner credit. I think it's a $200 credit for dining, and a wine reception when you get there. So yeah, wear your shirt. If you don't have a shirt, let your campaign assistant know. They will get you a shirt. And last, but certainly not least, I just really want to thank you. Let's take Camille, can you take a couple of screenshots while we're all on and smiling and looking happy? That would be awesome. If folks want to turn their cameras on, we're going to take a couple screenshots. And while that's happening, I just want to take a minute to acknowledge the folks that go into making this campaign happen. The events committee is here if you want to do a little thumbs up. Campaign assistants are here. You guys do such a great job of making this seem so seamless and so easy. And I just appreciate your hard work and your dedication so much. It makes a tremendous difference. So kudos to all of you. And now, as you all know, if I don't give away door prizes, I might actually spontaneously combust. So we have, of course, figured out a way to give out door prizes virtually. And the ever awesome Dean Spear will be helping us do that. And our first door prize is $25 gift card to the RAM. It's hard with the little cards, right? Like you can't see it, but I promise you it's an awesome thing. Dean, who does this go to?
The lucky winner is Elton Torres.
Yay, congratulations, Elton. Didn't you win at training too? Nice. Elton, this is your lucky campaign. You might want to go buy a lottery ticket. Just say it. Next up, we have from our friends at Samurai Noodle. I love noodles. Like I did not want to put this in the campaign because I wanted to eat all the noodles, but the folks at Samurai Noodle, which is in the ID, the U District, and Capitol Hill, so 3 different locations, have donated a fabulous $20 gift certificate for your noodle slurping pleasure. Dean, who is going to be dining at Samurai Noodle?
The lucky diner is Marin Gerdes.
Marin, congratulations. Yeah, I love noodles. This is really beautiful. Our friends at Wolf Haven, they're one of the nonprofits in the Combined Fund Drive, gave us this exquisite picture book. I mean, I guess it's a coffee table book, it's not a picture book. Profiling wolves in the area and wolf populations. The photography is gorgeous. You will learn stuff and you'll feel really good doing it because you're looking at pretty pictures. So Dean, who is going to be our new wolf expert?
The lucky winner of the Wolf Haven book is Anne Rocamore, and I apologize if I don't pronounce your last name correctly.
Oh, congratulations, Anne. Anne is a new coordinator this year.
Thank you. I love Wolf Haven. I saw that book and I went, oh, please me. Thank you so much. I
Oh,
appreciate that.
that's awesome because Diana was up there with her fingers crossed. So, and last but certainly not least, from our friends at Northwest Harvest, an awesome coffee mug, some super fancy chocolates from Seattle Chocolate, and a $5 Starbucks gift card. I would call this the UWCFD starter pack. Dean, who is going to walk away with the starter pack today?
The lucky winner of the starter pack is Scott Wynn.
Congratulations, Scott. Scott was also, I believe, last year's winner of the Dean Spear Award for Excellence in Campaigning. So congratulations. All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming to the kickoff. We are so excited to be back together. I am looking forward to working with you all to create successful campaigns this fall, to find new ways to connect with your colleagues and coworkers, whether in person or online, and just find a new way to make the campaign come alive. I love the shirts. I love the motto, do good, feel good. And so I just want to encourage you all to get out there, have the best campaign you can have, and let's start paying the good things that are happening in our lives forward. And let's just get out there and start giving for good. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you coming today. Josh, if you're willing to stay on and folks have questions, I'm happy to open it up for Q&A, but for folks who need to leave at 11, I want to be respectful of your time and let y'all go. You've been blessed and released. Have a lovely, lovely Wednesday and happy kickoff day.
I'm putting my contact info too in the chat. I forgot to do that. Sorry about that.
That's we'll
If anyone
totally
has
send it
questions.
out.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. This was very inspiring. I appreciate this.
Oh, I'm so glad you could join us. All right, so we got some folks on the line. If you have questions for Josh, now is a great time to ask him. All right.
You can always follow up with me later too. I put my email.
Yeah, we can absolutely do that too. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Laura. Bye, Anne. See you, Ellison. Bye, Athena. Thanks for coming, Stephanie. I love your scarf, Athena. It looks both warm and really like snuggy beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Fall times brings the best out of everyone.
I know. It's boot, sweater, and scarf season. Like legitimately 3 of my favorite things.
Comfy season.
Yes.
Thank you
Alexis,
so
I love
much.
your background. That I used to work in psychology, so I was in and out of that building a lot.
Nice, nice. Yes, I'm actually outside. No, I'm not.
I was gonna say, what? I would be impressed by your boldness if you were outside. 'Cause I am like, whoa, okay.
There'll be like 100 students walking by.
Yeah, that seems like it's, you know, super amenable to having a presentation.
Yeah. Right, goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Amazing job, you guys. Thank you for keeping things together. Annabelle, Camille, thank you for being my question collector. Dean and Kate, love. I don't even know how you're doing the door prize stuff right now. And I kind of want to know, but I kind of don't want to know because I love like having, but you have like this secret special expertise that makes me really happy. Annabelle, thank you for helping our speaker. I had a very nice note from Kimberly saying, "Oh my gosh, that Annabelle is so helpful." And Nicole, as always, like, thank you for keeping us on time and on task and getting us all set up. And I am super excited. I'm about to crash really hard. But happy first day of the campaign. It is kickoff day. Oh shit.